Dear Earthmates, in this episode of the series Earth Civilization or Civilization Dialogues, my dear Canadian friend Bruce Benson is with us. We met, this is actually our first face-to-face conversation, actually, isn't it?
No, it's our second. We had one about a year ago, I think.
Yeah, face-to-face.
Face-to-face, yeah.
All right. And when I saw the wonderful human flag, your creation, I said, this is it. And it's on the Facebook page of Earth Civilization Project. And how did the idea come? And you have been running a marathon regarding the flag.
Yeah, it's been many years, but it began, let's see, I have to go by my children's ages here. My son is 26, 14 years ago, when my son Tiberius was 12 years old, and we were hiking on the Appalachian Trail in America. And one day, as he's stomping up the mountain, all mad at Dad for waking him up early, and I was behind him kind of chuckling. It was a coming of age trip, so soon he would be a man, and I wanted him to have a great quest in order to be a man. I also wanted him to do something that was very, very difficult, so that the rest of his life he could reflect and say, well, when I was 12 years old, I did this. I can do whatever he encounters again. But anyway, so I'm behind him, and I'm kind of chuckling, and I got this thinking, what kind of a world he would inherit. And really, when you look at the world, it's messed up in so many ways. But hiking is very conducive to thought. So I started thinking, yeah, it's messed up. It's messed up simply because of our differences. And then the mantra of the flag of humanity, is what I call it, came to me. No matter a person's religion or lack thereof, no matter a person's skin color, nationality, or politics, these differences are as nothing compared to what we have in common. We are human. So that night, I did a design in my journal, and about a month or two later, I took it to a design team in Asheville, North Carolina. And 4 years later, we came out with what you see behind me. Mm-hmm. If I can just step off to the side for a bit, Tara. This is the flag of humanity. And what it is two sets of hands in silhouette, in shadow, to represent all the skin colors of people on Earth. And you can see the adult hands passing the Earth to the child's hands. As a universal symbol of humanity, I think it works quite well.
That's true. And you have been suggesting the flag. You have shown it in front of the United Nations building, and you have been to China recently.
Yeah, I was actually interesting. I was kicked out of the House of Commons in Ottawa with the flag, because you're not allowed to enter the House of Commons. They kicked me out very politely. Remember, we are Canadian. But I had to leave because you're not allowed to enter the House of Commons with any other image other than the flag of Canada. But yes, I was in China. I spent a lot of time in China. And I think I sent you a video that's on YouTube that they had this demonstration in China, in Shufu, Shandong province, 3 weeks after I left the first time. And they had a couple of hundred people walking through the street and carrying the flag and picking up trash, because that's one thing that I associate with the flag, is picking up trash. And now picking up trash I've been doing for about 20 years.
Wonderful. But, and you have a wonderful book, Embrace, which you signed and sent to me a few years.
Yes. Yeah, this is it right here. This is, I don't know if you can see it.
Yes.
The Embrace, 40 Days in the Desert.
Yes.
Yeah, 40 days in the desert. And that was, I went to Egypt and I spent 40 days at the pyramids picking up trash. And yeah, and I wrote a book about it. There's a lot of backstory there there's an image of the very first drawing that I did of the flag of humanity, which looks significantly different than this. I am not an artist by any stretch of the imagination. But you know, Tarek, flags are very, very powerful things. They really are. Every nation on earth has a flag. Until recently, I'm not sure they still do it, but children in America would pledge allegiance to the flag every morning in school. And you know, the image of the flag being raised at the Iwo Jima is a very powerful, passionate image. But when a man would go climb Mount Everest, what does he do? He plants a flag, or the North Pole, a flag. And in the course of human history, millions of men and women have followed a flag or banner into battle to kill or be killed. So flags are very powerful things. And as powerful flags go, I believe this one has the potential to be the most powerful of all because it represents all of us.
Exactly. And on the moon, the next time.
Oh, yes.
This should be taken there.
That's right. And I absolutely, not for one country, for all of mankind, all of humankind, yes. All of humanity. And I've thought this, it's a little bit science fiction-y, but if an alien race came, landed on the moon before coming to Earth, and if they knew anything about the physiology of human beings, and they saw this flag, they would say, that is a united planet.
Yes. Yes. Why not? One of the things I would like to see before I die is certainty of some sort of communication with so-called aliens. And the other one is the replacement of the United Kingdom by the United Republic. And you live in Canada. Where are you now? You just mentioned actually, but.
Yes, I'm in Arnis, Manitoba, Canada. Very small community. As you know, I am a commercial fisherman, and I'm on the shore of Lake Winnipeg, and I'm at my fish plant. As a matter of fact, it was blowing very hard this morning, and when I finish talking with you, I will hop into my boat and go fishing because the wind has calmed down. So that's my next project for today. But I'm so happy to be talking with you. You know, one thing I found with the flag of humanity is it really does resonate with people. You know, in China, I was in China when COVID hit, and I wasn't allowed to travel, so I started doing I did 50 live 2-hour internet shows in China, all brought to you by the flag of humanity. And I would because people were kind of scared, and I could say to them, look, I'm from Canada. I could go home anytime I want, but I'm not. I'm not scared. I'm not going to panic. I wash my hands. I wear my mask. I wash my hands. I wear my mask. You know, and then I would cook Canadian food, juggle, sing songs, read poetry, all brought to you by the flag of humanity. And people really responded to it. You know, they really do. I remember, let me tell you one really happy story because here's an example of a shirt that we have. I'll just show you. I don't know how much time we have left, but
we have about half an hour.
Oh, we do? Oh, okay. So can you see that?
Yes, wonderful.
Yeah, and that's the shirt that I'm wearing. And on the back, a little higher?
A little bit higher.
Okay.
A little bit higher. Yes, perfect, perfect, perfect.
Right. And then on the back is the mantra, like the Earth Civilization Project has theirs. What is it again? Responsibility.
I think I can say I too am on this planet, and I too am responsible. This is my simple statement, and I consider myself an Earth Civilization volunteer. And anyone who agrees with this approach, no matter what other differences are, whatever, but basically, yes, he or she or them, they can consider themselves Earth Civilization volunteers.
Okay, and this is the mantra.
Yes.
This is the mantra of the flag of humanity. Can you read it?
No matter a person's religion, or lack thereof, no matter a person's skin color, nationality, or politics, these differences are as nothing compared to what we have in common. We are human. Exactly.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
the politics is a very important one here in North America. Certainly in America, it's so divided over politics right now. You know, people have to return to civility, I think, you know, and say, well, this is a fellow human being. They may have a different politics than I do, but, you know, they're still a human being. We do have that in common. There is a commonality, right? We're humans. So, so let the hate and vitriol. But I remember I went to the 50th anniversary of the march from Selma to Montgomery. And I was crossing over the Edmund Peteas Bridge that Barack Obama had crossed earlier in the day, and John Lewis. And I was crossing over wearing the shirt, and this woman behind me says, "Oh, that's beautiful. Is that a Martin Luther King quote this year?" And I was just like, wow, really? But, you know, I'm sure he would agree with it.
I agree. I think he would. Yes, definitely. A few years ago, there was this international conference in Malmö, Sweden, and there was this panel and some writer friends. The topic was finding a common ground, and my colleagues were a bit pessimistic. And then I stood up joyfully and I said to, maybe there were 700 people there, I said, we do have a common ground, and it is our earth. And actually, the most important things are so simple. They are so simple that we fail to see and appreciate them, right? I mean, we do have a common ground. That's the ABC. And, you know, and the rest, I mean, because we need a few simple facts, and then the rest we can discuss, of course. But unless, yes, the priorities. And thanks to the internet and in a way, well, unfortunately, of course, but this COVID-19 has made more and more people realize that, well, we are one community on this planet. And
yes, yeah, that's one thing I would say. And when I was in China during my internet shows, I would say, this little virus does not care if you're Chinese, Canadian, or Russian. This little virus doesn't care what color your skin is. This little virus doesn't care what your religion is. It doesn't care about that at all. It doesn't care what country you come from. It doesn't care. So why should we? It's a little virus. Are we not as intelligent as this little virus?
Yes.
You know?
Yes, we are humbled by the wisdom of that virus. Actually.
Yes, it does not discriminate.
Doesn't. Yes.
So we can learn something from that.
Exactly.
But one thing I often would say to the Chinese people, now this was being sent all over China. I don't know how many times I waited for a knock on the door. I thought there was going to be a knock on the door, but it never came, because I called on the Chinese government to lead all the nations in environmental activism in this, and I called for an end to war, and I called for all kinds of things. And one funny thing that happened was I mentioned Xi Jinping, the leader's name, many times. Now there's these automatic apps, right, that pick up. You're not allowed to say his name, but because I mispronounced it so badly, the app would never pick it up. So then one of my translators translated it properly for me one time, and then the app was shut down for 3 days. Wow. That one app.
So you're not allowed to, I mean, in China, they are not allowed to say the leader's name.
Just on
arises suspicion, maybe.
I think it's just certain applications, like certain apps that you go on. Like they don't want you to do it. I guess the app makes money, but depending on how many viewers you get. But one of the things I did too is I would do I'd pick up trash, and I'd have a translator with me all day long, and the translator would be live streaming me picking up trash. And some of the videos that she said my translator, this one woman, Thursday, I called Thursday, because I met her on a Thursday and she was so helpful, so I called her Thursday. Got something like 100 million hits.
Wow.
In China.
Wow. Wonderful.
So I was told, actually, you know, they were actually very good. I did they did a news story on me in Shandong province. There's 100 million people in Shandong province. And I was the #1 news story one day, and it was about an 8-minute piece. And what I was doing then, I was picking up trash around the Temple of Confucius in Chufu, which is a small town, but it's the Temple of Confucius. I was looking for a place that was culturally significant to the average Chinese person, and yet had trash in it. Well, I'll tell you, Tarek, it's pretty tough to find trash in the cities in China. They've got so many people picking up trash. But I've got 20 years of urban trash picking experience. I can find it. So it was in the bushes is where you could find it, you know. People would put stuff in the bushes because you put it on the street, everybody can see it. But anyway, China was, Chinese people were very helpful. And I found the youth of China to really be environmentally aware. One of the biggest things that I'd like to see is, like I said before, an end to war. If the resources used to prepare for war and to fight war were used instead against global warming, for instance, is the big one, we could easily solve the problem.
And starvation.
Starvation, yeah.
True. When my wife and I were in China on a tour, we visited some cities and we were, of course, impressed, and a few dialogues. The children along the Chinese wall visiting, the Chinese children, they liked me. They liked my beard, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of photos were taken. We had good memories. It's there's a lot to do everywhere, actually, and yeah, we need to learn, of course, from each other. In Canada, there at home, there is a nice painting by Canadian indigenous tribe, an indigenous tribe, and
right.
When my wife Yusun and we visited our friends in Vancouver, we got it, and we find it charming. What's the situation culturally in Canada regarding? I mean, Canada is one of the more democratic countries, to my knowledge.
Yeah, and it's very multicultural.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's people from all over the world here. There's sort of ongoing reparations, if you will, for the Aboriginal people, the call them First Nations people, that were here.
You call it First Nation.
First Nations, yeah. And they're still working on that because I guess we weren't all that long ago. The Europeans came over, they weren't all that gentle with them. No. But kind of shuffled them off to the least desirable land, that sort of thing. But where I live, everybody seems to get along pretty good. Mm-hmm. You know, I've had I remember being the only white person, if you will, in an Aboriginal community, and they fishing, and they treated me very, very well. Mm-hmm. And you know, like so, we're pretty Canada's a pretty peaceful country. Yes. COVID is now there's this whole bunch of people that don't believe in the vaccine, and you know, they're fighting that, and I guess some people are losing their jobs because they refuse to get the vaccine. I mean, myself, I'm a big believer in vaccines, so I don't have an issue with it. But Is it the same back home for you, or people saying, I don't want the vaccine?
Some in Turkey, some people consider vaccination, what's the word? It's part of a secret agenda.
Oh, it's the same here. Yeah.
Yeah, there is this conspiracy theory.
There's a great big conspiracy.
Yes, but I mean, we have been receiving trustworthy information from doctors, nurses in Turkey and in the States that people who die, youngsters included, they die, almost all of them, not vaccinated patients.
Yeah.
And now, this is almost crystal clear. So it hurts me when I'm speaking now. My face is like this.
I know,
because it hurts me, and especially children. I mean, we need science. It improves thanks to human effort. I mean, it is too easy to say vaccination is no good or that we don't need it, etc. We do. I agree. We do need vaccination. And vaccinology. There is a book about that I found out yesterday. Vaccinology. I want to have a look at it.
Yeah, I have no problem with it. But back to your original question about Canada. It's a very multicultural society. We just had a federal election. Mm-hmm. Not very much changed. Justin Trudeau is still our prime minister. He still has a minority government. Mm-hmm. Not much has changed. Some people say, well, it was a waste of effort, but it did tell us that people are moderately happy with the way things are going, I guess. Mm-hmm. You know, we don't have any, like in America, any sort of really radical person running for prime minister. Mm-hmm. You know, like it's you know, I don't like to talk too much politics when we're talking about the flag of humanity because, you know, don't want to get politics involved.
I know, but this is a good chance for me at least to ask you something. Is there a Republican movement in Canada?
No, not really. Not that I've seen. I ran for member of parliament twice for the Liberal Party, which is in power now. But my riding is a very conservative riding. So I didn't have a chance to win. The second time, actually, I just put on snowshoes and I snowshoed 300 miles around the riding, arriving on to vote on election day. And I gathered my children together. It was worth it just for this. I gathered my 3 young children together and I said, remember to tell your children that their grandfather snowshoed 300 miles to vote. That's how important he felt it was.
Wow, this is very important. Great example, really. What else would you like to say? And to Earthmates, I enjoy also using this word. What else would you like to say, Earthmates?
Well, I guess what I used to say in China when I was there, and like I said to everybody that I've met in Egypt and all my travels, is that first of all, I love everybody, and I believe this is my quote. I'll give you my quote. I maybe it isn't, but I believe it is. The love for one is not diminished by the love for another.
Exactly. Wonderful. I'll quote that from you.
Yeah, Bruce Benson. The love for one is not diminished by the love for another. So, because I remember I told somebody I love them and they says, but you love everybody. Because here at Arnis, it's a bit of a tourist place. And I say we have two rules here at Arnis. One is we love everybody here at Arnis. And 2 is if you have a problem with someone else that is here, don't bring it or you will have to leave. In other words, you know, so, and in 30 years, I've kicked 4 people out. I'll tell them to leave, you know. I'm sorry, you're not getting with the program. We love everybody here at Arnis, so you have to leave. But to fellow Earthmates, you know, oh, I wanted to, can I just say one thing about the flag? Okay.
Yeah.
So there were many versions before we came up with this. And at the end, we had two versions. One with, I'll just step off to the side. One with the child's hands reaching for it, and one with the child's hands touching it. And so I was at the Children and Women's Resource Center in Hendersonville, North Carolina. And there was a woman there with 3 kids running around, and she was having a hard time containing her children and doing what she had to do. I told her nothing, absolutely nothing. And I asked her, which do you prefer? And I put them both in front of her. And I told her nothing about what it was or anything. And she said, that one, because the child's reaching for it. That woman, who I never met before and will never meet again, made the final decision.
Wonderful.
And her only criteria was she was a mother.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Dear Bruce Benson, thank you so much. We are together. That's what I enjoy saying.
Yeah.
We are together. Yes.
Yes.
And, let's talk again.
Okay. I plan to travel to Turkey. Are you going to be back in your home country soon, or what are your plans?
We can communicate about that. We'll
okay.
be happy to host you there. Take care.
Okay. Thank you so much, Terry.
Your family.
Okay.
Great.
Bye-bye.
We're together. Thank you.
Okay.